Okay, Marley,
Yeah,
you're here at the Desteni Farm,
I am indeed.
and I'm going to be asking you a couple of questions about your stay here because you're leaving in a couple of days. So the first question I've got for you is, what was your first impression of the farm?
My first impression of the farm was definitely, oh shit, I'm like completely out of my element, and I'm really interested to see whether or not my perception is exactly what I thought it would be about farm life here. So that was immediately what came up for me
Okay.
when I came here.
And then you obviously arrived, and is it what you expected, what you perceived it to be?
It certainly is not what I expected it to be. As I've explained with Bernard, I basically thought that it's very interesting how the mind works, as we all know, and I had this idea in my mind that Bernard would be kind of like going around on the farm telling people what to do, almost like giving each person a list, like this is what you're fucking doing today, this is what you're fucking doing. And immediately when I didn't see that happening, I thought, wow, immediately pop, burst the bubble, you know. So in all aspects, I mean, obviously the Destiny material is, you know, like no other sort of point you can come across. So everybody has a perception they build up about what happens here. Yeah, the coolest thing for anyone who comes here, just like I've found out, is the bubble being burst of what you think is going on to what's actually happening here.
Okay, so that's what you expected the farm to be like Bernard walking around and...
Basically screaming and shouting at everybody, saying you're fucking doing this, you're fucking doing that.
So that's obviously not...
not happening.
What was the most outrageous thing that Bernard said to you?
The most outrageous thing Bernard said to me, which I thought was going to happen, was when me and him went out for breakfast, and basically he started going deeply into explanation about the history of mankind and the reptilians and Anu, and you know, I obviously, you know, as any Destonian, we don't have any practical perspective that I can place from my experience of having a discussion with Anu, but you know, it's really cool to hear it because of the support that comes through the portal. As we all know, the message is so stable and clear. Yeah, that was the craziest stuff. I mean, craziest stuff Bernard talked to me about, basically. Yeah, reptilians.
Okay, so which was your favourite animal to hang out with during your stay here?
You know, obviously all the animals are cool here. Everybody is, you know, every animal has their own space, and it's all the different animals can intermingle in certain areas, which is really cool to see how different species of animals can coexist together. Like when you go down to the stables and you just see the amount of birds that are down there. That's so fucking cool with the horses and everything. But obviously I'm a dog person. The dogs took a liking to me pretty quickly, and I've got, you know, 2 big dogs at home in England. And I would say out of the dogs, Boo Boo, the dog, definitely, after the first, I can't think it was 3 or 4 days, he just started sleeping in my room every night. So I'd say probably built the best connection with Boo Boo.
Cool, awesome. Yes, a lot of people have had experiences with Boo Boo where he kind of latches onto them and just, like, you know, as a point of support and assistance, you'll find he actually
is.
latches onto specific people in terms of that.
Yeah, but really, I mean, loads of the dogs. Dexter as well has been really cool. Chimera, the 2 puppies, you know, Snowy and Boomy. And yeah, I love playing with the big dogs in the main house, you know, Timeless and Lucy and Gracie and Blackie, Noodles. They're all cool, everybody's cool. And Zach is like, you know, when he gets a bit excited and he jumps and you're just like, whoa, big boy.
Yeah, but he's just a big teddy bear.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Again, what was the most supportive and assisting thing that Bernard spoke to you about or shared with you?
Definitely about points which is a point that I wanted to come to the farm for anyway. There's a variety of points why I wanted to come here, but definitely one of them was for Bernard to just basically tell me any point that I'm missing or that I'm not aware of consciously that is basically keeping me in a state of separation. Yeah, the basic points about me judging myself and in relation to my colour, and yeah, pretty much that is interesting, because it's fascinating how the mind kind of we allow it to convince us that we're not doing something, but then when someone places it for us, and then you start looking closely in your life at where it is you're doing that, you can see, oh shit, yeah, I am doing that. So I would say it's definitely that is a point of race, actually. Basically my coloration and in relation to people walking process, sort of comparing myself to people, points like that really, which I've been aware of, but really kind of purposely avoiding, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'd say that is some of the most supportive stuff Bernard's been talking to me about, is when he talks directly about judgment, and also parenting as well, because obviously I have a son. Yeah, and basically very firm with me he's been about the point of not being involved with because the hero point is definitely a point that has been quite relevant in myself. So that point of not participating when I see violence happening or maybe about to happen, and he's been very firm with me about the point of walking away when something is about to happen and to not participate. So that is very important for me to take that on board, because I'm pretty certain if Bernard had not said stuff like that to me, I know the reactions that happen already when I get in situations like that, where I feel like I have to sort it out or something like this. So it's definitely an ego point which I'm not going to allow, which is very interesting.
Okay, next question. Was your stay worth it, and would you come back?
I mean, another cool thing for me since being here is how ill I actually was in the first 3 weeks of being here. There was each week it was like there was something different wrong with my body. Immediately when I got here, hay fever was extensive, and because of the point of, I used to be a Desteni hater and all of this thing, really worrying and being concerned and having this anxiety, oh shit, what does everybody think of me, oh fuck, and fucking wheeziness every day was just was fucking crazy. The first week, breathing was actually the main problem, and then getting a cold and getting diarrhea. So it's fascinating to see, when we're taken out of our element, how fucking sick we get because of how much fucking value we've placed in our usual daily routines. But in the past sort of week, I've been really stable and haven't had any illness or anything coming up. So, and just the basis of what's going on here is such a cool thing to have, because as most Estonians that are not basically here on the farm, we're not used to being in an environment of support within process. It's usually a point of people kind of just attacking what we're doing. So it's been fascinating to have that support daily, to be able to go to anybody and talk about any point in relation to process and not have resistances, or people are like, oh no, I don't want to talk about that, or I don't know what the fuck, you fucking whatever, which is what I'm used to hearing most of the time if I bring up any point in relation to process. So me is definitely a point where I have a lot of points in my life in England that I have to take care of, and again, another point that's been supportive for me talking with Bernard about is becoming more effective capitalist, basically, which I have in the past few years been getting much more effective at that anyway, which has enabled me to come here. But that's what I'm going to focus on when I get back home, is continuing to work on that point. And then once I have accumulated more funds again, in a year, possibly 2, I will certainly be back again, which will probably be for a month again. I would like to come longer, but we'll see what happens.
Awesome, great. Well, we'd love to have you back. Okay, this is one of my questions I've been very eager to ask. Is how's your experience with the South African cuisine been here?
The cuisine has been fascinating because, again, that's another like perception I had in my mind before I came here. Like, oh, I wonder what the guys eat like on the farm. You know, like what the fuck? Oh, it's probably, you know, really, really nice food. And I remember watching a few videos that Bernard had made about eating and eating practically, and not getting into making it a point of, you know, mind possession where you're trying to make fucking amazing magical castles out of food and stuff. You know, just keep it practical and work with what's here. So I would say that for me, I basically live in a household where I mean, I don't do very much cooking whatsoever in the household because I just pay the bills and do housework, work with the dogs, and my mum is very much hugely into cooking. She watches cooking programs all the time, and she kind of ends up making these fucking really massive, extensive dishes that take fucking so long to make and everything, and they always taste good, but the preparation is crazy. So that has been a massive difference to me, is because of the amount of spices my mum uses in her food. So my my physical body is so used to spices in the food daily, and to come here and most people here are not used to that. You know, certainly there were some reactions that came up in relation to that, which I did blog about. So the food is very cool, and you know, there's a lot of chickens eat here, and there's certain points that, you know, some fruit and some veg that are grown here, which is really cool to have that sort of bit of stability. Obviously, being self-sufficient is very, very difficult in this system, but the food is very cool. But to me, I have to add spices because that's what I'm used to. But food is very cool.
How has this visit assisted you and supported you in relation to your own process of self-forgiveness and just your self-application in general?
I would say this whole experience has just been so supportive to, like I say, not only just burst the bubble of perception of what I had about what happens here day to day, but also to meet each person and to basically look at the point of how each person is applying themselves. And before I came here, what I would do very often is I would just, every time a point would come up, which would be clearly like deception, I would sort of write it down, and then I would start actually stating out self-forgiveness wherever I would be. And that's not like a practical application of using self-forgiveness, and that's one point that's been really supportive for me since being here, is seeing how people, again, because another perception I had before I came here, that, you know, people just walk around, you know, saying self-forgiveness statements all the time. They must do, you know, because I'm doing it. So surely when I go to the farm, everyone will be doing it as well. And people were not doing that because of the point of the application. You know, self-forgiveness is just where you're stating to yourself, letting go of what it is you're seeing, you're doing. But you know, in terms of the application, that's just you sticking to breath, being self-honest. So it's fucking cool from all aspects of the process that I'm walking, to see how everybody is just applying themselves physically and just getting done what needs to be done, not like dwelling on points and basically applying self-forgiveness practically, just in terms of all areas of application of process. Coming to the farm has been so fucking cool because you just see how everybody lives, and an example more than anything of practical living day to day, and just see how people get on with their points, and people, you know, obviously support each other, but there's no points where anyone's like clinging on to anybody, or seeking validation from people. It's just everybody is just doing their points. It's fascinating, you know, so it's really, really cool.
Okay, Marley, what was the scariest part of your whole visit?
Scary.
If there were any.
I would say, yeah, if the scariest part I would say would be when the first day I came here, I had a talk with LJ about, because I heard before I came here that he got bitten by a spider. And I was working on the point before I got here anyway to do with spiders, because I've always had this point of not like running out of the room shit scared afraid of them, but definitely a point of fear that comes up when they're in the room, where I'm just sort of thinking about it, and I can happily sit there, but I'll just think about it every few minutes or so. And that has been fascinating in terms of looking at different varieties of spiders and just being like, now, are you that variety that bit LJ, that like gave him a really fucking big black thing growing on his back? I'd say that would be probably the biggest fear point. And I suppose, you know, the areas not too far from the farm, poverty is quite extensive, obviously in Africa in general, but I suppose slight fear of whether or not someone is going to be attacked outside of the farm by, like, you know, gang members and things like that. So obviously because of the nature of my past and points that I'm still not clear on, where I'm basically judging someone based on how they're moving, walking, or what they're wearing, perceiving that I know what they're going to do or what they're thinking. So little points of fear there in relation to certain people outside of the farm I would see that are clearly from poor areas, and being concerned that maybe they're going to do something, you know, are they judging me up? Are they going to try and attack me because I kind of dress a bit gangsterish still, you know? So, yeah, I'd say that would be the 2 points for me, would be poisonous spiders and gangsters.
Yeah. Fascinating coming from an ex-gangster.
Yeah.
Okay, have you got a message to any prospective visitors?
There's nothing really I can say other than any perception you're having about any person that's here or anything that's happening here, apply self-forgiveness on that before you come, and just breathe and stick to breath and stop thinking about some idea that you've got, which is just an idea, of course, because when you come here it will be burst anyway, okay, and you'll be looking for something before you come here. Oh, you know, some crazy stuff is going to happen, and you're going to come here and you're going to see everybody living their day-to-day routines, and you're going to get bored, so to speak. So if you are applying yourself before you come here on those points, you're not going to get bored, because you're going to just be aware that it's just people living here, standing for life, walking this process together, and yeah, it's fascinating. But certainly, obviously, you want to bring certain points with you in relation to what season it is as well, obviously, weather-wise, if it's winter. I mean, you won't, well, you guys call them gumboots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We call them wellies in England. You know, whatever you call them, you know, you want waterproof shoes, definitely, at some point. Stable shoes. No,
Gumboots.
Exactly, gumboots. Don't have, not just sandals and shorts and things like that. Even if it's summer, I would still suggest bringing your gumboots. But yeah.
What will you take with you from this whole experience? Meaning, what will you remember, or what will stand out for you in, say, 20 years from now?
Will be seeing everybody live together and bursting the perception of a Destonian as some sort of like superhuman or something like that, you know, and realizing that anyone who is involved with anything to do with destiny is just a human. That's it. You know, that there is no special point, there is no special person, and that's all in the mind where that's happening. And that is where I had extensively participated in my mind before coming here, is believing that, you know, Bernard and Sunette would be like these kind of etheric beings or something, and then just to live with these people day to day, to realise that they are just a human just like me, just breathing, just here. So that is the main point that I will take with me, that I will remember 20 years from now, is that everyone is just equal on the farm. There is no point of anyone being bowed down to, or anyone forcefully telling other people what to do. Everyone is equal, and that's the point I will take with me.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing your answers with us on the questions that I have posed.
That is cool, no problem.
And we hope to see you again soon.
Yes. See ya, guys.